When I first started on YouTube over 5 years ago, I made a ton of mistakes when starting out. But there's a set of things that I learned along the way that I was able to use to monetize now 4 different channels. This is my 6th channel on YouTube, and hopefully I can monetize this pretty soon as well using the same exact formula. So I put down 5 steps that I think everyone starting a YouTube channel could benefit from, and it will help make the process a little bit easier because it's really hard to know with so much to do, what to do first, what to do second, and exactly how to make progress in the first few months of starting and growing a YouTube channel. Let's jump in. Step 1 is you have to think about the type of people that you actually want watching your channel. Some of the biggest mistakes I made early on, and almost everyone makes when starting a YouTube channel, is they make random content and they don't really think about the audience that they want watching that content. They put up content, they put up a video, and they just hope that YouTube will show it to as many people as possible. Well, it doesn't quite work like that for almost every channel on YouTube. It can eventually seem like that, but at first, when starting a channel from scratch, if you already could think of the type of person you want watching your videos, the easier it is for YouTube to also understand the exact same thing. YouTube's machine, the algorithm behind YouTube, basically has to figure out who is your target audience, who should I show this video to. Well, if you don't know that as the creator of the video, it's going to be hard for YouTube to figure that out. So one of the biggest reasons I've seen people not really taking off in the first year or even 2 years on YouTube is they never took the time to sit down for a second and write down that these are the type of people I would like watching my video. I'll just give you an example. I have multiple different channels. So one of my channels, for example, is all about filmmaking, the professional side of filmmaking. So I know I want filmmakers that are starting out that are trying to figure out how to grow their career in that profession. So I started making videos very specifically for them, and I never make other random videos. I have one of my channels that's random how-to videos. So that one I grew, and it took a very long time to grow to a substantial level because I didn't have a target audience. So when you have a target audience, it's just easier. You can make less videos, you can put less effort, and YouTube will figure out faster that this is the type of people they should show the video to. So take the time, sit down with a piece of paper and write down the type of audience you want to serve with your videos before making any content. Step 2 is all about creating content that is going to get views right away. And one of the best ways to do that is making search-based content. Another mistake that I tried to do early on too was try to get YouTube to show my videos to as many people by trying to make viral content. Now, viral content is great, but it rarely happens to new channels. So it's a lot better to go after search-based. And by search-based, I mean with YouTube, people use YouTube a lot as a search engine. In fact, the majority of people using YouTube initially start using YouTube as a search engine. They use the search bar, they type in a search term, and they watch a video to get an answer. So if you could create content for that based on some research, you will have a better chance of getting views initially. Now later I'll talk about doing things to get you to the next level, but initially your first 20, 30 videos should be search-based content to get you recognized by YouTube and the search engine. And you could also benefit from Google showing YouTube videos in search as well, so you may get some visitors from there as well. Now, one of the easiest to figure out what people are searching for on YouTube, again, this has to be around the type of focus that you decided on step 1 and the type of audience you want to serve. But you could use a free tool called Tubebuddy, which is a Chrome browser plugin. They do have a paid version that I upgraded to later to just unlock everything they have to offer. But their free version basically lets you find keywords. And with keywords, you just search for something that you want to make videos about, and it will show you some titles and suggestions so you can make videos around those topics. And I'll make a whole list for myself of search-based topics on every single channel I have this for, and I make videos going down this list. This is one of the videos that was on my list. I have a good 10, 20 other videos, and I update that list all the time, and I make search-based content. Now this channel, as I'm making this video, is under 1,000 subscribers. So my focus is exactly this. I know who I'm making videos for. Step 1, people that want to grow a YouTube channel. And step 2 is now I'm going to make search-based content for people searching how to grow a YouTube channel. So my videos will hopefully over time be served to them inside of YouTube. step 3 is all about creating good thumbnails or improving your quality of thumbnails. So if you think of YouTube, really, if I was to boil it down to just 2 things for YouTube channels, and it could be as big as Mr. Beast or a channel just like this that I'm starting out, it's really simple. Are people looking at your thumbnails and your title, and are they choosing to click? So that's the first initial reaction you could get from someone on YouTube, is are they clicking on your video? And once they click your video, the second thing that really matters is, are they satisfied with the video? And YouTube typically knows if they're satisfied with the video if they watch the majority of your video, which is called your watch time. So if you get your click-through rate, how many people are clicking on the thumbnail, and once they do, are you keeping them on the video? Is the watch time high? You could really easily succeed on YouTube with those 2 factors, except those 2 things are really hard to get. In this step, improving your thumbnail, it will improve how many people click on your videos, which is a huge factor on growing a YouTube channel. So I test this out all the time, and I'll put a link below in another video where I show you how I create my YouTube thumbnails using a free platform, and it will help you use templates which will already give you a high quality thumbnail without any design skills. So step 4 is about that watch time that we just talked about. So with your thumbnails, now you're doing search-based content, your thumbnails are good, people are choosing to click to get their answers once YouTube shows those videos to them. Are they actually satisfied and watching through your video? So if you think of a video that's 8 minutes, if you were able to keep people on average halfway through your video, which is 4 minutes, you will succeed on YouTube. And I know that seems kind of low, but it's actually hard to get that number. That 50% retention time is what I actually try to hit every time I make a YouTube video. So your structure for the video, how you tell the story in the video, is very critical. The way I told the story in this video is I broke things down to 5 steps. The way I did that is I took some time and I scripted or bulleted those points so I could hit those in order. As you're watching them, the story is going step by step, what you have to do first. Now we're on step number 4, but they were in order of things you have to do. And that way people will watch to see what's the next thing. Now for storytelling too, it doesn't always have to be step by step like an instructional video like this. For stories too, you want to have plot points and you want to have rising action. You want to tell a story in a way that it makes sense with how they, make movies basically. So depending on what kind of content you make, you want to follow this formula. How can you get people watching and not clicking away from your video? How can you keep people engaged? And step 5, and this actually could exponentially grow your YouTube channel. After a little while of making search-based content, I try to go after suggested content. So even though search is how people use YouTube initially, suggested content, basically the content that YouTube shows you on the homepage or after a video, that content is actually the bulk of what is being watched on YouTube. So after a little while, I try to hit suggested content. So I use Tubebuddy sometimes to try to use trending topics on their Tubebuddy to see, hey, should I make a video that is trending? So I've done that before very successfully. I created a video called How to Use Zoom back in March 2020 that got 2 million views just in the same week of initially publishing that video. That made me quite a bit of money just from AdSense with my monetized channel. But with that video, basically I was able to use the suggested and the search at the same time with the same video. But sometimes you go after search and sometimes you go after suggested. Once in a while, both of them work in combination if a search term is trending. So I try to really focus on that because once YouTube suggests your video to other people, it will really exponentially grow your YouTube channel. Now, it can be difficult for YouTube to do that, especially if you have a new channel. That's why search is always my first strategy for growing a channel, and I apply suggested after. And once they work together, you really could have some success on YouTube. I also have a full free masterclass that I put together that goes well in depth on the type of content that I make for YouTube. And I have a 3-pillar strategy that I use to monetize all my channels on YouTube and use it for my business as well. So make sure you watch that after this video. If you want a much more in-depth training, that's about an hour long, but it's completely free. I hope you have great success with YouTube, and I will catch you on the next video.